Welcome into Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. We're about to break down the record prediction I have for the Bengals this year. And they've been a much better team than maybe the Marvin Lewis unable to win a playoff game or even the darker ages in Cincinnati sports history. But if you want the Bengals to have more playoff success than they ever had, I don't want to jinx it and say the SB word, but you know what I'm referring to, then like the video right now. Tom Downey of Chat Sports here with our Bengals record prediction. We will go game by game. I'll predict with scores because I'm a wild man, the individual games for the Bengals. But first, in case you missed our video yesterday on the schedule release, this is what the Bengals have coming up this year. At the Browns, home against the Ravens to begin the year. Primetime football game against the Rams, Monday Night Football, Week 3. At Tennessee in Week 4. Then an NFC West swing. At Arizona, Week 5. Home against Seattle, Week 6. The bye comes earlier this year in Week 7. And the Niners on the road, Week 8. That's a tough game right there. Along with the Bills right after that, Week 9, Sunday Night Football. The Houston Texans in Week 10. The Ravens on the road, Thursday Night Football. Tough turnaround, tough swing right here. Ravens, Steelers at home. We know how those AFC North dogfights go. And then at Jacksonville, Monday Night Football. Home against Indy in Week 14. Home against Minnesota, Week 15. They actually have two road games there, Week 16 and Week 17. Two toughies. At Pittsburgh, at the Kansas City Chiefs. And they end the year the way they began it. At home, or I guess against the Browns, a road Week 1, home Week 18. Before we get to my record prediction, I want to hear from you guys. Predict the Bengals record for me in the comment section right now. What do you think it'll end up being? It's the pinned comment on today's show. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and predict that Bengals record for me. Let's go game by game. Week 1, the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they're that good. I don't believe in the Cleveland Browns. So give me the Bengals to take down Cleveland 27-23. I think the Bengals are a better football team. A little bit closer game. That's how early season matchups tend to go. Give me the Bengals in Week 1. Then Week 2, the home opener for Cincinnati, September 17th. A lot of 1 p.m. games because, Eastern time. This one will be close as well. The Ravens, I don't know if the Bengals can sweep them because Baltimore's a good football team. You know how tough the AFC North games go. I've got the Bengals in a narrow win, 28-27. How about a Joe Burrow game-winning touchdown drive late? On to Monday Night Football at home. The Bengals finally getting some primetime games. I don't know how good the Rams are going to be this year. They're a very tricky team for me to identify. So give me the Bengals starting the year 3-0 with a win over Los Angeles, 23-20. A Evan McPherson game winner. Then in Week 4, on the road against Tennessee. I assume this is still going to be Ryan Tannehill starting. Maybe not. I think Tennessee's in for a pretty big rebuilding year, or at least a reset year. So give me Cincinnati to win a 4-0 start. Yeah, I'm feeling confident in them. With a 31-21 win. Not really buying Tennessee this year. Week 5 at Arizona. The schedule's not that hard if you start off the year with some wins, right? The Cardinals, I think, will be competing for one of the first picks in this year's draft. I've got a blowout win for Cincinnati. Not even close. It's over by halftime on the road. 33-13 because I'm not scared to predict big blowout wins for this Bengals squad. We mentioned the playoffs earlier. How many playoff games will the Bengals win this year? If you want to put in all of them, that's a good way. That's a good answer as well. But sound off in the comment section. How many playoff games will the Bengals win this year? Let's go to Week 6. As the Bengals right now, 5-0, hosting the Seattle Seahawks. 6-0 starts are very rare. I'm going to find a loss in there somewhere, and I gave them the divisional wins because, the Browns don't scare me, and the Ravens, we'll get to them later on. Seattle wins 27-24, a narrow win, a disappointing home loss, but you're not going to start the year 6-0. Most likely. Maybe you'll end up being wrong. I'd like to be wrong on that one. The bye comes in Week 7, and then a very tough game in Week 8. And I do hate myself for doing this. I forgot to mention my Bengals-Rams score prediction was the inverse of the Super Bowl. And I went with the Super Bowl the last time these two teams played, 2016. 49ers eke it out. That one, my dad's not over that one. I know that. That's probably one of the tougher matchups and really one of the tougher swings the Bengals have. Week 8 on the road at San Francisco. Then they host the Buffalo Bills in Week 9. Now, the rivalry between these two fan bases has always been pretty cordial. The Andy Dalton charity stuff was great. Things got a little bit less cordial last year because, let's be honest, the Bengals kind of got the short end of the coin flip, I guess you can call it. Ended up working out fine, I guess, since the Bengals beat the Bills in the playoffs. Give me the Bengals in a thriller. 33-30. They're now 6-2 entering Week 10 when they host the Houston Texans. I don't think Houston's going to be that good. I think their defense will be competitive, but they're going to need some time to figure things out. So give me the Bengals over Houston. 7-2 mark now through 10 weeks of the year. A very great start for the Bengals, and then a tough game. Short week on the road. Bengals at the Ravens. I think this is going to be a bit of an ugly game like so many Thursday Night Football matchups are. Give me the Ravens to win. I know, it's disappointing, but it's just going to be a tough one. Tough turnaround week. Ravens 21, Bengals 20. Cincy drops to 7-3 as they move to the Week 12 matchup, hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is not an easy out. They never are. They'll probably be 9-8 like they are because Mike Tomlin never finishes below 500. But yeah, give me the Bengals this week. 24-17. Little bit of a uglier game. It's the AFC North, man. Those games are not normally pretty ones. So Bengals pick up another win. They improve to 8-3, setting themselves up for good success. Now remember, folks, if you have not already, make sure you are subscribed. Free videos, not quite every day, but we're getting in that direction because it's a meritocracy. The more subs, the more videos we can do for you here. So if you want more free Bengals coverage, hit that sub button right now. I mentioned this on our video yesterday. Brand new sentence right here. Bengals at Jags on Monday Night Football is an awesome Monday Night Football game. That is a primetime game everyone's going to want to see. I think it will be a hard-fought, close game. Two of the best young, if not the two best young quarterbacks in the NFL. On the road, though, I've got the Jags pulling out the win. So Cincy slides down to 8-4. Then they return home to face the Indianapolis Colts. And maybe Anthony Richardson's really good in year one. I kind of doubt that. I think it'll be more of a progression process for him. Give me the Bengals by 10 in the local area-ish game. Bengals win that one. Week 15, we actually don't have the time and dates yet. That is listed as TBD, so it could be a Saturday game, or at least it's a possibility of one. I think the Vikings are going to regress this year. I'm not as sold on them as other. They had a negative point differential. That screams regression. Give me the Bengals 30-20 over Minnesota. Week 16. Now, this could be a scenario where Pittsburgh's fighting hard to get that 500 mark. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But you know what? Give me the Bengals in this one. Give me Cincinnati in a narrow road victory. It's not often you can sweep an AFC North opponent. I've got that happening here for the Bengals over the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-21. To Week 17 we go. This is one of the best matchups of the year. It's later in the year because the NFL schedule makers believe these teams are going to be good. Bengals at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are due. The Bengals have low-key kind of owned them a little bit. Well, up until this past year. The Burrowhead memes, unfortunately, are done. I'm sure that will return once again. I wanted to go with Burrowhead, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs 31-30 in a thriller. And Week 18 against the Browns, who I predict will be out of the playoff race by this point. Bengals will probably have locked up, if not the division, at least the playoff spot. So give me the Bengals over the Browns 27-17. My final record prediction, 12-5 for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they will win the AFC North again this year. Who do you think ends up winning the division crown for the AFC North this year? PIT for the Pittsburgh Steelers, BAL for the Baltimore Ravens, CLE for the Cleveland Browns, or CIN for the Bengals? Go ahead and vote in the comments section.